Hello, everybody. Let me take you to Mexico. It's 1993, a deserted bay off the coast. I left my friends at the beach to go snorkeling. And after a short swim, there was a grey shadow beneath me approaching. And a deep primal fear arose. Oh, in my mind I played every compilation of every scary shark movie and cartoon I ever saw. And I tried to swim away from this grey shadow, but it was following me. And there was this moment. In a split second I realized, hey, this is not a shark, this is a dolphin. So I went from terror to ecstasy in a split second. And how, because it's so universal that we all know, hey, a dolphin, that's good news. So this dolphin and me, we were playing around for about an hour, like a dance in the ocean. And we were exchanging and having contact, and we were exchanging the oddest sounds. The dolphin, of course, with his perfect sonic abilities, and me muttering in the snorkel. As an artist, I am always the most interested in art that brings us into contact with unknown worlds and ideas, just like we saw in Margriete. For example, if we can understand the flower by following the imagination of Hilma af Klint or Georgia O'Keeffe or Vincent van Gogh in this image. After that first encounter, I spent over 2 decades visiting and sometimes swimming with dolphins and whales all over the world. And there I witnessed that sometimes these contacts with these cetaceans have wondrous and life-changing and profound positive effects on not only me, but also on all others, fellow swimmers. I have learned that an intense experience of the beauty, joy and intelligence of nature can be a portal to bring people back in touch with these elements of life, with all sentient beings, including themselves. So it became my dream to create artwork that conveys this feeling of meeting dolphins in the wild. And virtual reality seemed to be just the perfect technique to do that.
I traveled around the world to visit dolphins and whales. It changes you, it changes your view on life, and it changes your view on being part of nature. Because I'm an artist, I've been looking or trying for many years to share this somehow, in some way. And only recently, with this new technique of virtual reality, this is the perfect way to do it. Swimming with dolphins can be like a medicine for people with depression. And also there is something called dolphin-assisted therapy for children with autism or Down syndrome. But these programs are with captive dolphins. And we thought that swimming with dolphins through virtual reality, it would be also great for dolphins, because then they could be able to stay in their own home. Come into contact with dolphins or whales. It's a healing experience. Through the years I've met many people, and I see them change. After these experiences, I see them become more open, happier. They get stars in their eyes. So this is definitely something that people could benefit from.
This environment, this virtual reality content, we believe that has so much power in helping people to relax.
If you have a hard morning at the office and you want a great stress reducer, go swim with the dolphins on your lunch break. If people would like to experience VR swimming with dolphins or would like to support us, please visit our website.
Okay, fast forward. It's 2015. This is the headquarters of the Dolphin Swim Club, a beach hut by our home in Sweden on the Baltic shore. We were dreaming that summer, working hard to plan the filming, starting a crowdfunding campaign, and so lots of planning between Sweden, the Netherlands, and the rest of the world. The Baltic, it's a wonderful place, but there are no dolphins or whales living there. The waters is not salty enough, and there are some porpoises, but even they are extremely rare. Until the 5th of September, the day that we pushed the button to launch our crowdfunding campaign. That day, of all days, 2 young bottlenose male dolphins showed up in front of our house. So that's something for the imagination. It's about as likely as, to give you an idea, as meeting a wild giraffe in the Rocky Mountains. And it made me wonder about really the extent of the intelligence and awareness of cetaceans, dolphins or whales. They stayed around for about 2.5 months. And of course, just founded the Dolphin Swim Club. We went swimming. This is the image of the first dolphin-human underwater encounter in the Baltic. And it got a lot of press coverage. So that way we were able to talk about our VR project as well on TV. And this way we also considered the dolphins co-founders of the project. Again, they showed us the universal appeal of dolphins and their ability to enchant and bring joy. And I'm sure none of us in this small Swedish coastal community will ever forget these days. Here's some more fun pictures. At that time, it was September in Sweden, so the water was getting colder. And later that year, in December, we went off to some water that was a little bit warmer in the Red Sea, near the border of Sudan. And not only the dolphins, but a whole team of experts needed for a frontier VR experience like this became involved. And mentioning filming wild dolphins had a lot to do with that. And this was only the beginning of the adventure of the Dolphin Swim Club. The dream stretched even further. It turned out to be not an inconsequential project. Today it is touching and transforming many lives. Within 3 days that we came back from the filming in Egypt, it was embraced by medical science. And I really do hope I didn't overstretch anybody's imagination by this time. But for the medical part, I would like to introduce you to Benno, Brada, producer, and my beloved husband. He will share some facts and figures, and also he will share a little bit more about the underwater VR, how we developed that, and what we have learned, and what we can hopefully mean for you.
Yeah, so as Marijke said already, 3 days after that we came back from the Red Sea, we had the first contact with the Universal Medical Center in Groningen, who asked us to use the footage that we took for a pilot research in the treatment of hospitalized patients suffering from depression, anxiety disorders, and psychosis. And the professor that you saw there as well, he wrote a paper about it, This paper we sent to our friend Skip Rizzo here over in LA, and he invited us to do a first presentation in the summer of 2016. And there we met so many, several visits now to the USA. We met wonderful people. One of them was from Stanford University for their project Braveheart, preparing young patients undergoing an open heart operation for their surgery. That was one of the first time that our footage was used in a scientific research. Also, the second largest insurance company in Holland bought already in an early stage our footage, creating a dolphin room for their personnel. And that was for us as well an indication that the dolphins could mean also something in healthcare. Here you see a picture of the Norwegian Cancer Foundation in Oslo, treating young patients with bone marrow transplant. These patients live in isolation for more than 6 weeks. And in order to create a different world for them, they use also our footage. An interesting contact immediately was Serenlo, and that is a handicapped expertise center. And they did in an early stage a research for 3 weeks by showing people with a mild mental disability, but with severe stress complaints, think about spasms, to see if it would relax them. And they found out that in 82% of the cases there was a significant relaxation and significant beneficial effects on this treatment. And 82% is a fantastic number, but what we really liked the most were the individual stories. There's this girl, 18 years old, she couldn't sleep for more than 4 years. And by being participant in this research, all of a sudden they found out she could sleep again. So her parents bought her a pair of VR goggles, and as far as we understand, until today, every night she swims with the dolphins, wish them good night, and go to bed herself. So that are moving stories. Our footage was used as well in a study from Brandon Spiegel about pain, the perception of pain by patients suffering from enormous pain. And his latest outcome is that it's up to 52% less perception of pain by the use of VR by having the same number of drugs. So that is a very promising outcome, and I come back a little later about that effect as well. But as Marijke said, we wanted to, from the beginning, we want to add an extra layer of immersion. The skin of the eyes of a person have only 4 million neurons, but the skin have over 100 million neurons. So by adding the skin to the experience, you really add an extra layer of immersion. And with the help of a innovation lab of Philips and a small grant of the Dutch government, we could develop this pair of this prototype, functional prototype of waterproof goggles. And our goals, as Marijke mentioned already in the short film, was especially to find an alternative for dolphin-assisted therapies. Very popular, but always with dolphins in captivity. And nobody knows, but a captive dolphin lives on average about 15 years, and in freedom between 40 and 60 years. So that's a huge difference. But these therapies are also very expensive. They cost over $11,000 to go a week with a family to Curacao, for example, to the Caribbean. Well, for sure, once you charge the smartphone in this one, you can use it endlessly. It's also repeatable, very important. And also another effect, brothers and sisters can participate. Often you see that only the child involved can do the therapy, and the children of the brothers and sisters have set aside. With the help of the Vodafone Foundation, we could do a worldwide launch. They helped us with the publicity. And nowadays, 24 of these goggles are in use for several pilot studies. All this media attention brought the French television 8 o'clock news to make a report about our project. And I think this will tell more or less the whole story.
Nous vous parlons fréquemment dans ce journal des nombreux usages de la réalité virtuelle, une technologie désormais utilisée en médecine. L'expérience que vous allez découvrir a été menée aux Pays-Bas et elle pourrait changer la vie quotidienne de patients souffrant de maladies chroniques ou de handicap. Reportage Sylvain Milenvoix, Pascal Marcelin et Élodie Dubosc sous le signe du dauphin.
Autour de lui, personne. Et pourtant, cet homme n'est pas seul. Sur ses yeux, un masque de réalité virtuelle. Regardez, ce qu'il voit, c'est ça. Tout part du projet d'une artiste néerlandaise et de son mari, tous les deux passionnés par la plongée et les dauphins. Il y a 4 ans, ils découvrent les possibilités qu'offre la réalité virtuelle.
Je me suis dit, ce sera ma technique. Je veux filmer des dauphins sauvages en réalité virtuelle et les montrer à tout le monde.
Marijke et Benno, son mari, partent en Égypte réaliser leur projet. Le film est vite disponible, mais ils vont plus loin. Grâce à un smartphone amphibie, Benno crée un casque de réalité virtuelle sous-marin.
Ça, ce sont des lunettes pour plonger, assez régulières. Nous avons mis donc de lentilles dedans.
L'expérience d'immersion est totale. Une institution médicale néerlandaise y voit alors l'espoir d'une thérapie.
On ne peut pas envoyer nos patients en Égypte ou au Maroc pour nager avec des dauphins, mais ils aimeraient pourtant le faire. Donc on a trouvé cette solution en réalité virtuelle. Et pour qu'ils vivent cette expérience, ils doivent être dans l'eau.
Guillaume est le premier patient à avoir essayé. Autiste, il souffre également du syndrome Gilles de la Tourette.
Je vois des dauphins, je vois des coraux dans l'océan et j'adore ça. Ça me rend calme et dans ces moments-là, je suis dans mon univers à moi. Mon syndrome Gilles de la Tourette devient moins important. Mon cerveau se concentre uniquement sur les dauphins.
Le projet est encore en phase expérimentale, mais plusieurs universités américaines et des centres médicaux européens travaillent déjà avec Marijke et Benno.
J'ai commencé avec l'intention de produire un travail artistique et voir ces résultats-là, c'est très gratifiant.
Pour les patients, c'est un traitement de complément, sans médicaments et qui oblige à bouger. Mais c'est surtout du rêve et un peu de liberté.
And indeed, we have more rêves, dreams, as the French say, and we want to dive deeper. And one of these dreams is that we finally want to develop a consumer version of this waterproof goggles, and then made out of ghost nets. Ghost nets is a big problem in the ocean. It's estimated every day 500 dolphins and whales are killed by these nets. It made us also teaming up with a seal rescue center, which gave us also the opportunity to make a nice footage swimming with seals, and that children love especially, because that's also the comparison, them in a hospital and also a seal hospital. And as we're focusing on healthcare. But we don't forget that just swimming with dolphins, it's big fun for everybody. And just to emphasize on that, just a short video.
C'était cool, franchement. Après, ça sert un peu trop au niveau casque.
Super cool. En fait, moi, je suis étudiant en réalité virtuelle depuis plus de 3 ans. C'est assez dur de m'impressionner, on va dire, là-dessus. Mais c'est vrai qu'une expérience comme ça, où vraiment on est dans l'eau en plus, c'est génial. C'est des sens qu'on ne voit jamais en réalité virtuelle. Super cool.
Du coup c'était vachement sympa, tout le début c'était vraiment super. Moi, d'un moment je voyais un petit peu flou, alors est-ce que c'est à cause du masque ou est-ce que c'est parce que je suis myope à l'origine, je sais pas, mais franchement c'est vraiment génial. Et puis au niveau du son et tout, quand on est dans l'eau on entend vraiment le son de la vidéo et c'est vraiment sympa.
C'est vraiment génial. Franchement les sensations et l'immersion, c'était vraiment ouf. Merci beaucoup.
Bah non, c'est vraiment bien, on voit bien les dauphins et non, c'est vraiment sympa, on a l'impression de nager avec eux et non, c'est cool.
Super.
Super, vraiment trop bien.
That was amazing.
Fantastic! Psycho!
Okay. Unfortunately, we couldn't arrange such a tank over here. It was too complex. Yeah, we have several of these tanks in Holland, so unfortunately not. But there is hope, because what we want to do is we want to organize early next year. We want to start a crowdfunding campaign, and for those of you who are interested to swim with wild dolphins in virtual reality yourself, please send us an email, and we keep you updated about the upcoming crowdfunding campaign. Another dream is also that we want to make more footage to extend the library. Probably also for education goals. And another dream that we have started already is the further development and research about various therapies. And earlier I mentioned the pain reduction effect of using VR. Okay, that's that's well known. Once you're in the water with the dolphins, you want to swim along with them. And for example, in burning wound centers, there's a lot of aquatherapies. Nowadays, people that are burned over 50% are still surviving, but they have enormous pain. But after a certain period, when the wounds are healed, they can go into the water. And the combination of the effect of feeling less pain with the fact that you want to swim along with them, well, we see big opportunities over there. So. But also, as we spoke before, the dolphin-assisted therapies for people with a mental handicap, there we see great future. And we started a pilot with the SEM Foundation. That's a foundation who have sent over 1,100 patients to the Caribbean to do this kind of therapies. And also here a short movie about the work we do with them.
Weet je wat ik nou echt leuk vind? Is een grote koraal.
What is quite unique, the SEM Foundation also let patients dive with bottles already. So they have more than 80 patients following a diving course in a therapeutic pool in Amsterdam. And we just did a pilot with 30 people just to watch what is the best effect and what is the best way to, the best practice. Let's say here you see it. This guy is completely paralyzed. And it opens up their world. We first start with the land version, as we call it ourselves, so they get used to the effect. This is a girl suffering from enormous spasm and also paralyzed. But also underwater it's great fun. As promised in the first sheet, a few lessons learned, just a short one. We are very happy that swimming with dolphins is very universal. So that makes it possible that the footage can be used globally. Sound is very important. The world of dolphins is acoustic, and it's really an important part of our experience. The water with the underwater VR is very forgiving, and it's helping us a lot by transmitting. It's a super transmitter for sound, and that is really adding something special to the experience. And last but not least, we have looked actively for all kinds of cooperations in order to get as well study, because swimming with dolphins is a little bit spiritual and a little bit in that, and we want really to emphasize on the scientific part in order to prove the healing effects of it. So just for me to wrap up, 3 years ago it was a small start. I think we got far, and nowadays our footage is present in over 450 hospitals and health institutes all over the world. But now we need help to bring the project to a next level. And also for this, we are looking for partners, and that's what we say everywhere. So to give the word for the last part to Marijke, who will stretch a little bit more your imagination, what was possible with this project.
I would like you to meet Sander, a 12-year-old boy. He had cancer in the stomach. He came home from the hospital. He was tired, angry, afraid, and had a lot of pain. Someone in the research team of Groningen University Hospital knew his parents and brought him a headset. His parents said that it brought a smile on his face. The first one they saw in a long time. And the last 5 weeks of his life he spent with the dolphins. Here is another example of such a special occasion. We are really grateful for that. This little movie speaks for itself. But we like to end this presentation with a positive note. We are not really like a protest group. We offer an alternative. We offer art as a kind of medicine. And we are so proud to have the dolphins as co-founder of our project. And just to stretch one more imagination, we know that the dolphins are very intelligent and also that they have great humor. They co-founded the project and now they have people swimming in tanks. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Marijke Sjollema.
Some questions, ideas.
How did you get the audio in the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that your question?
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
Well, that was part of my question too.
Okay.
To be honest, but I worked with people with disabilities for 12 years, taking them kayaking and whitewater rafting, and the water itself is so healing and wonderful. It was so moving to see that you had somebody there who was totally paralyzed. We took somebody totally paralyzed, quadriplegic whitewater rafting, and the smiles and the giggles and the laughter were just phenomenal. So I'm sure that this is such a wonderful thing you've created, really just beautiful. And my sense was also the same, is how did they hear the sound? And I don't see the hookup on the thingy, but that's got to be a huge portion of it.
Yeah, of course. Like Benno said, the dolphins' world is acoustic. I mean, that's their world. What we did for the sound is we did a few hydrophones in the water, and that's why we did a different filming and recording sessions. Because, well, the good thing about dolphins, you don't have to lip sync them. So we could add that later, but we did put in a lot of effort on the sound in the way that we had We had a Bedouin captain at the time, and he was kind of like in a high standard family. So he went around and asked everybody to shut down their motor, so we could have like a crispy, clear sound as possible. And so we were really, really blessed in that way.
And just in addition, how this works, here in this kind of construction, sound comes out, and you hear it even louder once you're in the water. So, but come and test it.
Have you tried mixed reality goggles? Because I'm wondering if there's kind of like a safety issue, like swimming blind with VR goggles.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you can see on this design, the sides are open because that is already a safety issue indeed. Well, I can guide you a bit through the process, but there was a lot of duct tape involved, and we tried so many stupid things. And then really you need professionals like the people from other companies that help you out. So we have now a professional design company to make it. And this is one of the issues, of course. People with several, often they are multiple handicapped, so we have to be very, very, very careful. Yeah.
But on a part of the sound, we also got a present from the water because it's a super transmitter of sound. So we have pretty good results of just the microphone of the telephone.
Okay. I believe time is up. When you want, we are around here. Yeah. Thank you so much.